Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Michael. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning on a bit of a chilly morning.
It's chilly, but
it's been worse.
It's been worse.
colder.
So we're getting towards Christmas, you know?
Exactly.
So we all want a white Christmas. It's got to be cold.
It's got to be cold, exactly. And December is the time of month, I think we've talked about it before, where you're okay with some cold and chilliness. It's a good time to...
Remember, that's how you get your café con leche, Alex.
Exactly. That's how you can sit down with your café con leche. If you want to add a little peppermint café con leche.
Exactly. Or a hot chocolate, maybe.
A hot chocolate. You know, it's hard to go wrong with any of those things. So be sure to grab yours, get to your cozy spot, and settle down for some fantastic Today y Mañana this morning. So as you can see, I'm here with Michael.
Happy to be here.
Good to have you here. Like we were saying before, right when the mics went hot, it's been a little while.
It's been a little while.
It's been the two of us, but it's always fun.
It's good to reunite.
It's good, a little change of pace.
Exactly.
Exactly. Cut the combined age of the hosts in half. Always.
Probably a little more than a half. But
we won't go that far.
We won't go that far.
But no, we do love it, Xavier. He is quite busy this morning. He's working hard, so we're covering for him on Today y Mañana. We got people already liking the show this morning. We already got some fans. We got like Andrea Jackson, Malcolm White, Hannah Wilson. Thanks for liking the post. We got Sherry Mata, Trayvon Rodriguez. Thank you for liking the post this morning.
I think we got some popular guests today. I think that's what
I think so.
It's not us. It's the guests.
It is. It's always the guests. It's always the guests. We're going to be joined shortly in the show by Cesar Ruiz. He is the owner of Cocina, making some fantastic tacos in Waynesboro, I should say. Waynesboro, which is not far, so you can easily get there and enjoy some tacos even from here in Charlottesville. I know it's something I'm going to be doing soon. And then later in the show by Vladyslav Dolya. He's the owner of Astaire Dance Studio here in Charlottesville. So we're looking forward to speaking to both of them. It's going to be a great show. Dr. Elizabeth Urpí already watching the show.
Oh, already.
She is very excited for it. She's I know she's looking forward to seeing both our guests.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, but I noticed you almost said Williamsburg.
I know, because we had been there earlier this weekend.
Yes, this past
weekend. And so I almost made that little mistake, but thankfully, I'm very grateful that Cesar is much closer than Williamsburg. We don't have to drive. You do not have to drive 2.5 hours to enjoy his tacos. You only have to drive like less than half an hour.
But it's a nice trip. We always try to make at least one trip to Williamsburg. It's nice. They put all the reefs on the houses, and everyone's kind of like in their colonial decor.
Exactly. So it's a beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful time. Heather Wirt, thanks for watching this morning. Mary Olvera said, liking the show this morning. Kimi Fox, loving the show this morning. Thank you both for joining us. So
I think they all want to see the guests.
They do. A couple thank yous, of course. Thanks to Emergent Financial Services for being our presenter. Thanks to our fantastic partners, Matthias Realty, Craddock Serious Insurance, Castle Hill Cider, Forward Adelante, the Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And yes, I think it's time to jump right in because Mary Olvera already says about Cesar, the food is awesome, everyone needs to try. So I think that's our cue.
It's a cue. They want Cesar on the show.
To jump right in. The audience is saying enough with the intro. Let's jump right in. So we're excited to welcome to the show this morning Cesar Ruiz. He is the owner of Cocina in Waynesboro. Cesar, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So, for those who, obviously a lot of our guests have met you already, but for those who are watching for the first time, haven't met you before, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, how you first became interested in cooking, in tacos, in flavor, in food.
So, it started at a young age. I took family consumer science in middle school. I took art as well. So that's where it started. And I took family consumer science like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. So I always like to cook because I love food. I love to eat. So
there you go.
Hey man, we're the same way. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So and then growing up with so I'm Mexican American as well. So growing up with my Hispanic culture, and then my mom's from Amherst County. So with the Southern food, us living in Virginia, sweet tea, greens, like all that stuff. It's amazing. So I just always loved food, and it started at a young age. And when I went to the military, when COVID hit, I watched a video. I can't recall what exact video, but it was like, in this time, if you didn't take the opportunity of the quarantine to learn a new skill, then you were wasting time. So like I was at that time, I was watching Master Chef and stuff like that, and the chow hall in the military isn't the best food. I mean, sometimes they feed us good, but sometimes it was some weird combinations, like chili mac and broccoli and all this stuff. And it's like, oh no, that's going to give me the bubble gut. So, at the end of the day, like watching this Master Chef, and I'm like, man, I'm so hungry. I wish I could eat these foods, like that's back home. So then I was like, my family, makes this food. So I'm like, hey, I messaged my mom, hey, how do you make this? Message my aunts, hey, how do you do this? And then I would look at other recipes, and then I'd kind of make it myself. So, like, that's how it came about. And then I'd invite buddies over because, they don't want to eat at the chow hall. So I'm like, hey, guys, like, I hit up my battle buddies and be like, hey, y'all come over, come get a plate. And then they would eat it, and they'd be like, oh, it tastes good, But then, like, and then they give me some critiquing back. Like, oh, maybe do this, maybe do that. But then there was a point where they're like, man, like, over the 3 years being in the military, like, man, this is good. You need to do something with this. So then, later on, it just was like, I need to do something with it. So in 2020, I made a plan. I made a business plan, and I'm like, I'm going to pursue this at some point. So I just worked hard and, kept making it. I'd make it for my birthday parties, cookouts that I had. So I didn't lose the skill.
So you practiced it even while you were sort of thinking for the future.
Exactly, yeah. So it was three long years of just practicing and work and, asking people, hey, does it taste good? Like, I mean, which better way? Because like my dad's side of the family is Mexican, so I'll be like, hey, yeah. So I'm like, so what does it need? They're like, oh, más sal, more this, all this stuff. So it's like
they will hold back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're gonna be like, you want to taste some real birria, so I'm like, all right. But then I came to a point where they're like, this is good, this is ready. So then I just pursued it.
That's fantastic.
So when did you open up the restaurant?
So originally I opened up with a partner in May of 2023. So this idea I had it as a food truck. Really didn't have it as an idea for a restaurant. Long story short, partner didn't work out. I was doing all the work. Partner wasn't pulling his weight.
Yeah.
I'm not here to bash him, but bad partner, to be honest. Bad partner. But I got stuck in a predicament dealing with all the legal stuff, because pretty much a bad partnership is like a bad divorce.
Yeah.
So you got to handle all the legal stuff, who's getting this, who's doing this. So that's why I had to shut down. And that's the biggest thing, like, because it sucked after that 1 week. I mean, we did phenomenal. I mean, that was probably the best way to start off a new business. Like, we were hitting 100 plates a day. Like, we were doing good. And we just had to keep up the pace, but, I mean, I'm only one person, and I'm not Superman, you know what I mean? So I will, like, appreciate this time, like, my family, my friends, and they know who they are. They come and help me. They come and, help me every day, and, I'm very grateful for
it's like
those.
a real family.
Yeah,
business.
Yeah, and exactly, and, like, that's what I want it to be, and that's what I realized with the first partnership is, I feel like we go through, in business, you're always going to be learning. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, and that's what I learned the first time. I went into partnership with a friend that I had so much trust in, but in business too, put it on paper because you can get screwed over real quick. But then, now that I'm seeing it now and how it's doing and how we're going, family was the best way to do it. Without them, I mean, my chief warrant officer in the Army, Mike Randall and Janelle Randall, they invested in me. Like, and this is my warrant officer that I was on the boat with for a year and a half. And, he, when I was going through a rough time in the military, I spent some time with him and his family. They took care of me when I was in a bad spot. And yeah, without them, I'm telling you, like, my extended family in the military and my family, those people really helped me out a lot, and I'm grateful for them. Yeah.
It is. No, we hear it all the time when you start a business. That support group around you is just so key. And it's family by blood and family by just history
bond,
and bond.
Yeah.
In different ways. So what are some of your, and we got Alejandro Gonzalez, Lovin this morning, Jose Rivera Aparicio, thanks for watching, Christy Jackson, Trayvon Terrell, David Ruiz, and Mario Vera, that's again. Yeah, tons of lights on the page. So you definitely got some fans.
Yeah, no,
you definitely got your.
I mean, shout out to all those people. I mean, without them, I mean, China's Cocina wouldn't be nothing. Like, I mean, the support from the community. I mean, we were in the Christmas parade, and I'm like, maybe people aren't going to notice. I mean, but I could hear from the street, people like, oh, China's Cocina, and like all those people that you're mentioning, like I know all of them. I mean, I might not get to talk to all of them all the time. But, because when we're busy, I'm in there cooking. But, when I do have some time, I try to interact with my customers, friends, family as much as I can. But, no, without them, I mean, without the support of them, there's no business.
Absolutely. So what are some of the specialties? I mean, I know tacos is a big part. How do you sort of decide where you wanted to specialize in the type of cuisine?
So I will say, birria, my family made it, but it was they would always make it either in July or these colder months when we had special occasions. And then al pastor, my tío Abel, he makes a really good taco al pastor. So, but that's what I realized, we don't have that around here in Waynesboro. You might go to Harrisonburg, you might go to Charlottesville, but we don't have it in Waynesboro.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up, I'd be like, you want that nightcap of tacos. I drive all the way to Tacos Nacos here in Charlottesville. Every time I get there, I'd miss it.
Yes.
But I'm like, man, so I wanted to bring, those type of tacos to Waynesboro. And then in 2020, I also saw birria was trending. A lot of people didn't know what birria was. So I'm like, okay, I like birria. My family makes birria, and I can make my own twist on it, and I can make it my way. So and that's what I realized with business too. You got to make food that's trending.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to sound like a fool, but I don't know what birria is.
Yeah,
Could you
exactly.
explain that?
So
I know because I've had it, but yeah,
so I have to do this all the time. So I tell people birria is like a stewed meat.
Okay.
You always have to, bring something that's common, to something when people don't understand. So I explain to them it's like a pot roast. Kind of. It's slow cooked, for 4 to 5 hours, unless you have a pressure cooker, which I've done it in a pressure cooker as well, to cut down time.
Yes.
So I say it's like a Mexican version of a pot roast. Of the, American pot roast with carrots and stuff, but instead of the carrots and stuff, you have the chile guajillo, chile ancho, all those different chilies, and then you make this puree. You blend it all up, tomatoes, onions, and you strain it. And you make this flavorful broth and this very tender, savory meat, and you have birria.
Wow. Yeah.
Now I'm hungry.
And what I like is that you have these things on the menu, because even in Charlottesville sometimes those are the things that pop up every once in a while, but they're not, like you said, so many times you're like, oh, tacos al pastor. I said, well, that was the special and it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Or birria, and said, well, that was last week. And it's oh man, it's nice that you've kind of incorporated that into what central to what you do.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because that's why I say we specialize in it, because those plates, those meals, they're not something that you can just walk in, throw some season. No. It takes a lot of time, a lot of love, and it's precise. I will say, we have had times where I'll go taste them, it don't taste right, But that's the biggest thing too in a restaurant, consistency. So it's it's got to taste the same way every time. And anybody that's came and helped me and work with me, they know I'm very picky and very adamant of it tasting the same. I would say maybe people say I'm overpowering or you know what I mean, or or very strict. But the thing is I want it to be what I learned in the military. You set a standard, you go by that standard, and that's what it is. That's how our crew was. We were always the crew that always went out on mission. In our field, we were pretty much, you'd be on a boat for 2 or 3 months. We were with the same crew for 1.5 years. Wow. But that's because we set a standard. Like I said, my chief, our skip, our NCOs, they set a standard. And if you don't hold that standard, you're off the boat. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned there is you set a standard, you have a great team, you'll be successful. So
exactly. Well, and I think that's what also brings out the trust and the loyalty of customers. They know, okay, when we go to China's Cocina, we know what the birria is. We know how good it is. We know how the tacos are. Like, in other words, it's not like, I wonder how it's going to be today.
Yeah.
You build that trust with your client
And as
base.
small business entrepreneurs, that word of mouth is key. Like if your standards are always going good or the food wasn't so good, that word of mouth isn't going to spread. But you keep the quality of the food great every time, people are going to say, no, you're always going to get a great meal there.
Yeah. And like when we run out too, like, that's the thing too. Like when I tell people, because like birria, like if I do it in a pressure cooker, it takes about an hour 30, hour and a half. If I do it in a pot, like, pot and just steer it, slow cook it, it's 4 to 5 hours. And then the marinade for the al pastor, so we have traditional pork al pastor, we have steak al pastor, and we have chicken al pastor. So, because that's what I said, we specialize in birria and al pastor. So, but when it runs out, it's like, I don't like the meat has to marinate, like even the al pastor, it has to marinate, or else that marinade is just going to be on the outside of it, and it's going to get stuck to the grill.
Yeah.
But if you let it absorb it, then it's going to be in the meat. So like I tell people, like, sorry, we ran out, and they're like, how do you run out? Like, but the thing is the time that it takes, and I'm not going to sacrifice quality for quantity.
Yeah,
and that was always my thing. Like when we did it back in May, like the new WHSV asked me, hey, how are you going to keep up with this? Like, I mean, I would like to put out 100 plates a day, but I'm not going to sacrifice quality for quantity. Because like y'all said, word of mouth. If somebody comes there and they're like, oh, that was nasty, then they tell other people.
Yeah,
it's going to spread like wildfire. As quick as you got your success, you can lose it as quick as you got it.
Exactly. Makes complete sense. Yeah, Nicholas Urpí says birria is one of the best things ever.
Shout out to Nicholas. He helped me get here today.
He's
reached out to us. I appreciate y'all.
Yep, Jerry calls him the chief marketing officer, the CMO. he gets some great guests. Andre Mañana. Joan Campbell says, so proud of you. Mario Olvera says, we stand by him 100. Cindy Giles says, so proud of you, nephew. So you got your community there doing it. And really, please forgive me if I've missed anybody that's liking or loving the page. We got Sierra Lee Coleman loving the show this morning. Ice Stu, Daniel Halbert, Ralph Loran, Detrayvon Barber, Julie Gomez, Jorge Cruz, Helen Teen, Brandon Chavez. If I've missed anybody's name,
Cesar's a celebrity. No one told us this. Wait a second.
You left this part out. No, I'm just out of curiosity, the name China's Cocina. How did you try to come up with the name of the business?
My sister, she used to cook for me and my friends. Her name was Yesenia. She used to cook for me and my two best friends, Caleb and Dominic, in high school every Friday. We got pretty big. We put on some weight when she used to do that for us. I'd make the meat, she'd make the tortillas, the rice, and the beans, and that was just a thing that we did my senior year of high school. And so Yesenia liked to cook. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2019.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So for her, I just wanted to do something for her, and also too, so her nickname was China. Like Pelo Chino, Pelo China. So that's why we called her China, because she had curly hair, and I just wanted to do something to honor her in her memory, and
and you're keeping it alive.
Yeah. And that's why I also too, I feel like I read this book by David Goggins, and Eric Thomas. I listen to a lot of motivational people, and Eric Thomas says what's your why every day? What gets you out of bed? Mm-hmm. Because if you do everything for yourself, when things get hard, you'll break. But if you do it for other people or for your why, those hard times will keep you even though it's hard times, you'll keep pushing. Mm-hmm. So when I put my sister's name on there, I walk in, I see that every day. Yeah. So that's why, even, I will say here now, it's gotten slow. It's not as big as the numbers as they were in the summer, but as long as we're, doing what we come in every day, we do what we got to do. And I know what my why is. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep it going.
Absolutely. You got the inspiration and the drive.
Yeah.
To do it. Emmanuel Klein says, proud of you, bro. Chris Van Ostrom, nice work. Justin Mason, nobody. And I think we have one. Sherry Mata says, best Mexican food around our area. So, absolutely. Monica Miller from Montana, watching the show this morning, says, good morning. Good morning, Monica.
Monica's like, why does Waynesboro have to be so far? She wants those tacos.
Why does it have to be so far? So what's it like on the backside, like being an entrepreneur? Because I know we like to ask this question, because I think it's good for people to know. I think because people they can imagine, right? You're behind the grill, you're cooking, you're doing this, but there's also a lot of other work that comes in on the entrepreneur side.
So I mean, I've worked in restaurants since I was 14 till like last year. I mean, I did other stuff, but like I would still work at like nights at restaurants. The first restaurant I ever worked at was El Puerto Mexican Grill and Cantina in Waynesboro.
Okay.
So shout out,
okay.
shout out to the Aguirre family.
Yep.
They were my first job, and I mean, till then, I worked for them, and they'd let me come pick up some shifts there. But so working in a restaurant, I'm like, oh, this is But respect to the people that are doing the back end of it, because you don't see what's behind the curtain.
Exactly.
But taxes, difficult. Making sure everybody's getting paid. Like when my brother comes and helps me, my cousin comes and helps me. Like when people come and help me, they got to get paid. So you got to keep track of that. Inventory. But I had the experience with that, with doing the inventory on our boat in the military. So I will say, like, I feel like some of the things in my life helped me prepare for this. Because like inventory, like I never did inventory until I went to the Army. But now, like, and my fiance, shout out to my fiance, Lakeland. She helps me with that a lot too. Like, she's really good. She's a manager at her job, so. She helps me, like, make, like, spreadsheets and stuff like that. Yep. But, like, I do the actual, like, on-hand part. But, she helps me with making documents and stuff. So I will say, like, the office stuff, technology, one thing that I struggle with is social media. You got to be good with that, too. Yep. But, I'm learning. So I will say, like, to other entrepreneurs, like, and what I'm still learning is don't be so prideful to not ask for help. And that's something I'm still working on, because I try to take it on. And I think that's just maybe like, me, like us being males. Like sometimes males don't, like we're so,
don't ask for directions.
Yeah. We're not going to, I'm going to find it, I can find it without the directions.
Exactly. Get the map out. I'll find a way.
Yeah. But, I feel like just as males, like, we don't like to ask for help, but, I will say, so I'm learning some things, but I will say on the back end, a lot of people don't realize payroll, taxes, inventory, when stuff breaks down. So, like, my walk-in cooler broke down the week before Thanksgiving.
Oh, man.
Yeah, $10,000 to repair it. But, I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do? So I go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, or I try to find some used stuff. My uncle got me a used fridge from a restaurant in Crozet. Another person tried to give me one, but those didn't work. And, I'm thankful for, them helping me. But, then I realized, okay, maybe used isn't the solution right now. Let's go buy new. No problem. But then Home Depot and Lowe's had their sale, their Black Friday sale, had nothing in inventory. So I had to make phone calls, and, with my aunt's help, Sherry, we called around some places, and we found one in Charlottesville. But you got to do what you got to do to get back open. Because, the more time you're closed, the more money you're losing. And, also, too, like, we already closed one time, back in May. Yeah. So I don't want people to think that we're not a legit business. But, sometimes, you can't make miracles happen. Like, when I did HVAC, I'd go into somebody's house, they're like, hey, my HVAC unit isn't working. Oh, like, your whole system, like, your compressor's done. Oh, well, can you get that today? No, you have to order it. Exactly. So you got to wait for it to come in. Like, you can make some miracles, but some things you got to wait on. It's not, the things that you can have fast and hurry. Like, when we run out of, ramen or something, we run out of chilies, I can go to Walmart. That's a quick fix. Some things aren't quick fix. So exactly. I will say, like, learning what's important, somewhat important, not important at all. That's another thing learning as an entrepreneur.
Yep. Yeah, always adjusting on the fly. In fact, it reminds me of a movie my dad and I were watching the other day. It was one of those, like, military movies where they're making, like, a plan and something like that. And the guy's like, listen, plans always go wrong. They never go right. And I feel like that's, like, the life of an entrepreneur. It's like you can imagine how it's going to go, but then there's always going to be all these hiccups, these, roadblocks. It's like it never problem solve. Yeah. You always have to kind of just in the fly. It never goes quite as it never goes as you imagine. But it's awesome to hear how you kind of like push through those times.
Yeah, and and I will say, like, too, like, I'm not perfect either. Sometimes, like, I think we got this, and, like, I try to remember by memory, but If you go to my restaurant, you'll see sticky notes or sheets of paper everywhere. Because, I mean, I do have a good memory. It's a blessing and a curse. But sometimes, I mean, you can only remember so much in a day when you're thrown with so much information. But, you know, I think, you know, with all entrepreneurs, what I've talked with other people, you know, the owner of Tailgate, Cesar Benitez, he's a good friend of mine. You know, he gave me some information of him being an entrepreneur and restaurateur. And like I said, El Puerto, all these other people, like I reach out to them, they say, hey, this is what I would do, or hey, you know, this is what I know, you know, and you just take all that information and you just do as you please with it.
Exactly. Well, Cesar, this has been an absolute pleasure. Before we let you go, important to know you've given us all a great appetite. Now we all want to know, where can people find you? How can people get some China's Cocina?
So you can find us at 2284 Jefferson Highway. And so it's Fishersville, Virginia. The physical location, but half our plaza is Waynesboro, half plaza is Fishersville. It's because it's right on the border. So it's right on 250 on Scotto's on the green. Or if you don't know where that's at, where the Waynesboro Golf and Games, the par 3 is. A lot of people know by that.
All righty. Well, I really encourage people, be sure to check it out. Last comment, great food. Let me see I want to make sure I cite it correctly. Tasman Johnson says, great food and even greater person deserves each and every blessing that comes his way.
Appreciate that.
Think of a better way to end it.
Yeah,
So, Cesar, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right, and keep up the great work.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
All righty. So it's always just, you get so inspired with like people like says that he worked hard, have the inspiration, great family and friends, a community, help him put it together.
Support group, and then his journey. I think that was really kind of what stood out, his journey to starting his business. You know, all his past experiences kind of culminating into, you know, China's Cocina. And what a great guy, too.
Absolutely. And definitely, I mean, I can't even, just really thanks to everyone. I probably missed some of your names, but really appreciate all. I know,
he didn't tell me he was a secret celebrity. He kind of left that out, you know. Usually when you and I on the show, we're like, oh, look, we got look, this one.
And from one to another tonight, already the comments are coming in for our next guest. We got Dale Jackson, Bill McChesney, Rosita Bennett, Gerald Petrillo, Juanita Smith, Marta HG. Thanks so much for tuning in. For our next guest, another fantastic business owner here in the Charlottesville area. And so we're excited to welcome to the show this morning Vladyslav Dolya from Fred Astaire Dance Studio right here in Charlottesville. Vlad, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Pleasure to be in here. Thank you.
No, it's great to have you. So, I mean, I know who you are because Elizabeth and I took some great lessons from Vlad earlier this year for our first dance for our wedding. But maybe, since I know you have a really great background in ballroom dancing even before you opened up Fred Astaire, so maybe open with like a little bit about yourself and how you started dancing and kind of your history there.
So I've been dancing all my life. I've been dancing from 4.5 years old, and all that I've been doing is I've been dancing. I was competing professionally. I've been going to the starting as the ballroom dance instructor all the way in Ukraine, and then I relocated to the States. And I've been continuing to do the same thing. And then when I start to run the studio, I've been doing the same thing again.
How did you decide to take, like, because you and Nita both teach, how did you both decide to say, all right, we love dancing and we want to now teach it?
At a certain point, you're just switching to one activity to another one, and then we had the friends who reached to us and said, like, guys, we're really struggling. We need your help with running the studio, and there's the COVID hit, and we're not sure if we can keep up with that. So we said, sure, we will help you. We'll be so happy, because at that point, we've been coming to the Charlottesville community pretty often, and we saw so many great people that we really wanted to help. And that's what makes us to do that move, to start to run the studio, and from that moment it starts.
And what kind of classes do you teach? Like what kind of different dances?
So we're teaching the ballroom dances. We're teaching all kind of ballroom dancing, and we're teaching also wedding couples. And this is one of the biggest joy that we have, is to give the fun to the people of their first very special dance together as the new families.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know you have like group classes. Because when we were going there, I mean, sometimes you work with individuals, right? Sometimes if it's just one person, then maybe they don't have a partner yet, you can help them out. But then couples and then groups, I know that there's some.
Yes, definitely. We also have some dance parties, and we also have some evenings when people just come and have a fun of talking to each other, of listening to the music, of dancing together. Even they don't have any dance experience, it's such a welcome atmosphere that we're trying to keep in our studio that even people who don't have any dance experience, they will feel comfortable being inside.
Okay, so taking that someone like me, I have no dance experience. What would your recommendation be for me to kind of like saying, I want to kind of get into dancing? What would be some of like beginner classes? What kind of dance would you recommend? Like I have almost non-existent dancing experience. I know a little salsa, but not too much, and very little swing dance.
So none of us was born as a dancer. None of us was born knowing the steps.
Especially us, trust me. You see all my parents dance.
All of us. I think the most complicated challenging thing is just to make a first move, just to reach to the studio and make your appointment and believe to your teacher. And we will show you the most simple and easy way to start your dance steps. So that will be the best way. And of course, we're recommending people just to start with one-on-one with instructor, or if they have a couple, they want to come together with their significant others, and they schedule their first private appointment. And we are recommending, of course, after talking to the people, what they like, what kind of music they like. Do they want something faster? Do they want something slower? And based on that, and based on our huge experience, we're recommending them what to start. Of course, some people said, I want to have something more fun. I want to have something more like exciting. And we recommend them something like salsa or bachata, which is the great dances that you can dance when you go into the cruises, when you have the dance parties. Or if someone said, you know what, I have a very formal dinner that I need to prepare, so recommending them like a waltz or foxtrot. Alex, you know what I'm talking about? Yes. Yes, and in this case, you feel that, okay, this is more like fancy atmosphere that you want to dress up in more formal clothing, and something is slower, and that's the great stuff to start with.
And that's what I think I really enjoyed when we went in, because it wasn't like you go in and it's preset like, okay, first dance, here's all the moves. It's that literally we're sitting down talking with Vlad, and we're talking with you and putting down, okay, what's your song? And we played you the song, right? And little by little, as we kind of walked through it, you took Elizabeth aside to say, okay, what's the dress? What is it? How long is it? Because I had no knowledge of what the dress looked like. So you're like, okay, and from that you were able to figure out, what the dance could be like. What were the right moves that would make, that would not make her trip in the dress? What fit the song? So it's not like you go in and it's like, all right, everybody does the exact same thing. Like you're working with people, particularly the couples, to make sure that it's something that they can learn and that fits what they're trying to learn it for.
Oh, definitely. The wedding dances is the real mystery that we are so happy to be a part of. We always take into consideration so many factors, such like even the gown that the lady is wearing, the size of the venue, the music, the difficulty of the choreography. We're all considering that. And for the people who just want to dance for the fun, we are proud to present a dance programs that we have, but we still made them custom for each person's needs, because all of us are different. We'll have a different goals. We already have different skills. And most of the people reaching to us and they say, oh, we have 2 left feet. Please help us. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we love to do. We love to see how people start to make their first dance steps. When they come, they're shy, they don't know how to say hi, they're afraid to step on the dance floor because they've never seen such a beautiful floor. We have a very good custom-made floor in our studio that people feel comfortable, and it's very safe to dance on. And when they start to explore this world, we see how their even facial expression change. They start to smile more, they start to wait for the next lesson after the hard working day that they have.
Which is
I can imagine, because everything you describe as me, I'm like, I feel like I got 2 left feet. I see someone dancing well, I'm like, no, now I can't go on the dance floor. They're too good. I'm gonna look terrible.
Yes, and that's what we love to help people with. We always receive, I probably even shouldn't start because I have 2 left feet. Everyone starts from something. Everyone starts with the tiny step. Everyone doing first step, second. And we are very happy to be a part of it. We're very happy to escort people to the world of the ballroom dancing.
Absolutely. Mary Beth Barber, watching the show this morning, liking it. Thanks for joining us. So what would you say, for people that maybe, what if there's like people who haven't thought of it yet? They're not even where Michael is. What would you say is like, what are the reasons to dance? What does dancing bring out for people?
So I think each single person can find its own reason to dance. There are some people who feel a little bit unconfident. There are some people who are a little bit missing of new friends. They want to come and find a community. They will share the same values. They want to feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Maybe they want to learn a new skill. Maybe they want to stay a little bit more healthy, because if they work in the whole day in the office, they need a little bit to move. They don't want to go to the gym, because when you go into the gym, a lot of people exercising around you. It's very pushing forward. We have a very, very friendly atmosphere. Mm-hmm. We can provide people to reach to their goals, even they want to be a little bit more like on the sports side, or they just want to have some fun of learning a few dance moves that they maybe will dance at their next party, or they have some wedding coming, or they're invited guests to the wedding, and they don't want to sit aside and trying to eat as much food just not to be called to dance.
And, Elizabeth says, I loved learning to dance with Vlad. It was a fun time in the midst of busy wedding planning, which I think it's so true, like, particularly, if you're doing it for an event. And maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's just a wedding you're going to, right? Maybe it's something else you want to do. Sometimes when you've got it, you have all these other stressful things you have to do. But it was nice because you never made it feel like it was the one thing we did for the wedding that wasn't like work. It was like, oh, this is fun and relaxing, and because you just have a nice way of like teaching and making it fun and joking and helping us learn it.
Yeah, we understand that when people are preparing for their wedding, they have so much stress. They have so much things that they need to think about, and we are very happy that we can take care of one very important subject, very important topic, that they will keep a memory for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. And we completely taken care of that, starting from the planning of the dance, and then we practice in it, so people feel very confident during their wedding.
Absolutely. More comments. I don't know if I should read Nick's. It's my brother. He does. Vlad is a miracle worker part-time since he cured Alex of his deafness to rhythm.
Alex was amazing. Alex and Elizabeth were like such a pleasure to work with.
We got to push Nick into going to Vlad. That's what I think.
There we go. Yeah, let's try that.
And then we'll have Vlad secretly record him. This way we can see how bad he is in the beginning.
No, that's we try. We keeping it very, very secret, so we're not sharing any information about the people, and we keep it very private. And one of our very important things is that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you say, what are some of the I know we would see on the schedule that they were going to come, and we were so busy we weren't able to come, but what are some of the dance nights and things, that the different themes that you guys have?
So our studios have a group classes 3 times a week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, for the people who just want to join the group classes. We're scheduling private lessons around the people working schedule. We're open from 12 to 9 o'clock. We know that the most people working all the time till 5, till 6 o'clock, so we're very happy to teach them after, and if they want to come and release the stress after work, after a long day of working, we're happy to help them. We also have our dance parties when people come and they just have a fun. There is no pressure at all. If you don't want to dance at that day, you just come in and talk to the people, and you listen and you talk and you have fun. And if you want to dance, of course, we have a huge ballroom. We have some instructors too happy to help you. Even if you don't have any dance experience, you can come straight to the party, and we'll show you just a couple of moves that you will feel already better performing.
That's just nice, because it's like it's you're building people's. I feel like in some ways you're also helping people build confidence.
Yes,
because it's one of those things, dancing, that I think because it's a social thing you do, you don't often just dance by yourself in your house, right? Most of the time you dance, it's with other people. That I think there's a thing of, like with any social thing, if I don't think I'm going to do it well, I don't have the confidence to go do it. But I think the nice thing is you help people build the confidence so that they can then say afterwards, well, look, I didn't know anything about this, but with the right help, I was able to do it. And you can kind of take that to other parts of your life too.
Yes, and we are very proud that we have a great team of instructors. We have 4 instructors teaching in the studio, and we brought the guys all the way from Utah, and me and my wife also teaching. So we also are relying on the programs that have been developed for 75 years of the company existence, and we're also adding our experience, which is more than 40 years total together for the whole team. So we know how to provide you the best experience and the best service about the dance lessons.
What's it like? Because I know, because you and Nita, so Nita is your wife, it's a husband and wife team. What's it like to also run a business as a husband and wife team?
Oh, we definitely enjoying every day being in the studio together, and we helping each other. And sometimes there's some people that prefer to work with the female, and some people prefer to work with the male instructors. And that's why we helping. And Nick is a little bit more friendly, as people saying. I'm a little bit more like on the bossy side. I said, okay, you have to be on a schedule. And she's like, oh, that's okay. We can make it work. So we definitely working together as the team, and we are very happy to be here.
It's a fun experience, and it's fun. And sometimes you get both. I mean, there were times when we were scheduled with you, and you'd be like, Nita, come here, and the two of you would together help us, because you got, especially when you're doing anything that involves two people learning at the same time. You've got the man's part, and the leading part. Was it the man leads with the left foot? Yes. And the woman uses the right foot because she's always right.
So, yes, Alex, remember that. That was the first thing that we're starting our lessons, just to explain to the leader what they're supposed to do, and never forget that the follower is always right. That's true.
And so you would both come out and kind of show us, here's what you do, here's the way to do it right, and just working on the little things. And really, I mean, it was a matter of, for us, and sometimes I think, sort of explain to people, because I think people might have this idea that you have to take 30 lessons to suddenly become good at it. What's a typical program like for a married couple to prepare for the wedding? How many lessons, and how long are they? Just give people an idea that it's really not. It's not like you have to do this a year or 2 years in advance.
Yeah, so it's all depend from each people. So some people come to us and say, you know what, we have a wedding in 2 weeks. So help us, we want to make it so amazing. We said, okay, you have 2 weeks, why don't we recommend you this amount of the lessons? And some of the people say, you know what, my relative is singing a song, and I would like to dance 5 minutes for that. So we recommend them, guys, how difficult you want the steps? Do you want to repeat them several times? Do you want to fill the whole song? They said, yes, so we recommend them a little bit more lessons. Some people come to us, you know what, we have a year before the wedding. There are some people that we had, we have scheduled a wedding in a year. We said, okay, you're starting with us right now, then you have a small break, so you can practice that. You will come back to us a couple of months before the wedding, because we know that before the wedding, the months before the wedding, dancing will not definitely be your priority.
Yeah.
You'll think about napkins, you'll think about flowers, you will think about, okay, is the dress long enough, how the tuxedo looks like on me. So our job is just to put the concerns about your first dance in the last place in your list of worries for the special day.
Exactly, yeah. And it's beautiful because you have the combination of both the basics, but then when the time comes that you're getting close, the little tweaks.
Yes.
And it's right down to, you wouldn't think this, but especially for those, right down to the position of the arm so that the guests can see the wedding rings and all that.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes, we're taking all into consideration, and we are trying to make it the best way that will suit for the special different couples, because all couples have a different goals for even for their wedding dance. We had the people who said you know what, we would like to keep it more for our couple, so can you please show us the steps that will keep us longer together? And there were other people who said, you know what, we have so many people in our wedding, so we would like to have a little bit more open positions, and that's what we did for them. We did a custom dance for them that will suit for what they like to make it even special for them.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so much detail that is. Do you ever get couples that it's not for a wedding? They just want we just want to learn how to dance together?
For sure, yes. We have some people, we have some couples that come and they say this is the best time of our week. We're waiting for our lesson the whole day. We come together, we can relax, we can be ourselves, we can enjoy time together with our spouse, because they said, at the work, we're thinking about the work here. It's a stress-free place. We're smiling, we're laughing, we're enjoying it, we're learning a new skill, we're enjoying the communication with each other, and that's awesome. That's what we like. We also have some people who are taking it a little bit more seriously, taking it as a sport.
Oh.
We have a very competitive students. We have a very good representation of our studio, our state, and the national sport arena. So dancing can not only be a fun and happy time. There's some people who are very, very serious about it, and they're doing some exercises, and they come before the lessons, and they're very serious. They're doing the dance competitions. We have it. We're very proud to have access to the Fred Astaire events. We have access to all levels of national events, and recently we came back for the competition, and we had the students that won. The first place is the biggest competitions in the country, and they also very serious about it. So you can find in the ballroom dancing everything that you're missing in your life. It can cover all of your needs and at what you feel like. Okay, I want to try something new, or I want to add something to my life, something more exciting.
That's fantastic. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know about how you even teach them for like competition.
Yes, we do. We have some people who just come for the group class and say, you know what, for us, one group class a week is more than enough, and we say that's awesome. That's awesome. We have some people who come for like 5 lessons, and they said, okay, we have this goal, we want to prepare. We have the same for the couples. I'm teaching a couple that come all the way 1 hour away just to have lessons in our studio. And they're preparing for the national championships, and they are representing the country in the world competitions.
Oh my goodness!
And we at the same time have some couples that have a wedding in a couple of weeks, and it's so great to switch when we're going from one lesson to another. We see different people with different goals, and that's amazing.
You never get bored, right?
Never. We truly allow it. We allow it that all people are different, and we can provide all of them what they're looking for.
Absolutely. I got it. Jess, if it's sorry, thanks for watching the show this morning. Monica says, loved the choreography and style of Elizabeth and Alex wedding dance, just stunning. Yeah, the choreography was all Vlad. We did not.
We should add a video of your dance, or at least a couple of pictures.
We have pictures. I owe you the pictures.
Awesome. I've been texting to Alex.
We need a picture. I don't know if we have video, but we have pictures.
Someone in our family must have been taking a video. We had like 500 people there. Someone must have taken a video of that dance. We got to do some research. That's all.
Do some research and find out.
We did some hard work. Together just to make it amazing.
Worth it. It was worth it. So, Vlad, so if people are like interested and they're like, okay, I want to reach out, what's kind of the best way to reach out, schedule something, get in touch with you and Nita?
So the easiest way that you can go to our website and fill the form, and we'll reach you back. You're always welcome to stop by in the studio or just give us a call. You can find our phone number on our website. It's fredastaire.com/Charlottesville.
Oh, super easy.
Very easy to remember. Everyone knows Mr. Fred Astaire. Everyone knows. Everyone saw one of his movies, you know. And he's an amazing dancer. We're so proud to have his name on the name of the studio. And you can just type his name.com/ and the name of our beautiful city.
Oh, that's super easy. That's even easier than I thought. What is Elizabeth found you guys the first time, so I didn't know how she did it. Yeah. So very easy. So fredastaire.com/Charlottesville. And again, I mean, you've everything from beginner all the way up. They can kind of just talk to you and see what the options
Definitely.
are.
We'll be happy. And there are some people who come to us with all the existing dance experience, and we helping them even to develop more. There's some people who come to us and say, you know what, we just want to have a dance for ourselves. And we said, that's awesome. That's great. We're really happy to help.
Fantastic. And got to end with a nice comment. Mary Ellen Bonomo Gomes says, Vlad and Nita are great dancers, instructors, and choreographers. Their 4 additional instructors are excellent too, which, Elizabeth and I had some experience with them too.
Yes.
And they're really, everyone does a great job and has different technique and ways to teach. But everyone is like super friendly and laid back, and so you never feel like pressured or anything.
Yeah, we have a great team of the people that has a huge dance experience. All of them been dancing on a professional level. All of them been going from the very 2 left feet all the way up to being professionals. And now they teaching, and we're really adding to each other. And sometimes we, for the couples, recommend, okay, today we'll have lessons with one instructor. Next day we'll have with another one, just that we can look at you from the different angles.
You require not require, but you recommend for the couples that one of the lessons not be with you.
Yes.
So that a different eye can see what needs to be worked on. I remember that. Yeah, so it was a great experience, and obviously Elizabeth and I aren't the only ones who feel that way. We got some fans that feel the same way. So Vlad, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you joining us this morning.
Thank you. Our pleasure to being here, and whenever we will start to dance, we'll be happy to see you in our studio.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much again.
Thank you so much.
Great show again. You can see why Elizabeth and I had such a great time.
Absolutely, yeah. I know. Now I I want to go. I got to go give a call, see what beginner's lessons. Fix that 2 feet, 2 left feet.
There you go. Exactly. And like you said, there's different. I mean, we learned foxtrot and waltz, but there's salsa.
There's
bachata.
so
There's many different things. Whatever
dances,
like your feel is that you want, whatever you're going for, go for it.
When Vlad was talking, I was getting waves of like, shall we dance? Do you remember the 2004 film with Richard Gere? It was fantastic.
So exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I know you were. We were.
Mind melt.
Mind melt, yeah.
Can I give a little shout out to Johnny Ornelas, amigo del programa? He says Castro's HVAC Services LLC highly recommended. So as well, Cesar for repairs. Oh, he's recommending that to Cesar. I think he knows some great people. Castro's HVAC Services. He's recommending. So thank you, Johnny. Always looking out for fellow entrepreneurs in the community. So we always appreciate that. Great man here in Charlottesville. So I had such a great time this week.
Great time.
Really, some amazing
Happy to be
guests.
here. Yeah.
Happy to be here with you. I love what people are doing, in our area. Just the passion that they put in, the hard work. Really
and think about it. You could take a little trip, go see Cesar, eat some tacos or birra.
And then go work it off by dancing.
You stole didn't let me finish. I was doing
I knew where you were going.
I know.
Exactly what I would do.
I know. Exactly.
Absolutely. So really encourage people to check them both out. Really, you can't go wrong.
And next week?
Next week is our Christmas special.
Oh.
Yes, next week is the week before Christmas. Yep.
Man.
So
I haven't even got you anything for Christmas yet.
Oh, I'm done.
Sorry, Alex. I think it's too late now.
It might be too late. It might be too late. I forgive you. you. Nick never gets me anything for Christmas. So.
He once got you that moldy blue cheese that was inedible.
That's true.
Remember?
He did. You can always count on Nick for that.
Exactly. He won't get you nothing. He'll get you something terrible.
Something you don't want.
Exactly.
Not giving him a hard time. But thanks to Nick for booking both our guests. Of course, and finding so many great guests for us. Next week, the Christmas special, you will see the Urpís in our Christmas hats.
Twice as many Urpís.
Twice as many Urpís. It will be Urpí times 1, Urpí times 4. So you will see us next week. And that says he especially gets people something that he doesn't want. So really, be sure to check that out next week. We'll be there. Be sure to check out Oratorio Society of Virginia concerts this weekend, this Saturday at 2:30 and 7:30 at the Paramount. You can go to theparamount.net to get those tickets. We definitely encourage people to check that out. Charlottesville Ballet, if the Nutcracker left this weekend, you may have lost your chance. We told you about it. But be sure to check that out as well. They have the Nutcracker this weekend. So that'll be something as well.
Especially Alex's dream. He's a big Tchaikovsky fan.
Oh, I'm a big Tchaikovsky fan. Lots of waltzes.
You could dance while they're playing.
I could dance.
You go onto stage.
They may not want that. That might be too far. They may not want me to do that. That might be a bridge too far, even for Charlottesville Ballet. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out both our guests. Thanks really so much to all. We had some great commenters today.
Absolutely.
Great. And again, there were so many likes on both these Facebook pages that if I missed your name, you were not unappreciated. We really appreciate you tuning out to support. This is what we love. Our guests, our audience supporting our guests on the show. So be sure to check them both out. Again, that's Gina's Cocina in Waynesboro and Fred Astaire Dance Studio in Charlottesville, fredastaire.com/Charlottesville. And really also very easy to find Gina's Cocina. If you type it into Google, the first thing pops up is the one in Waynesboro. So you can't miss it. Can't miss it. So be sure to check that out. Thanks for being on with me.
No, thank you for having me, Alex. It was a great show.
A fantastic show. Thanks to Judah behind the camera, making us all look good. I Love CVille Network for the set and having us here. Thanks to Emergent Financial Services, our presenter, and our great partners, Tassel Hill Cider, Matthias Realty, Craddock, Serious Insurance, Forward, Adelante. Thank all of you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. But until that time, as we like to close it out, double close it out. I'll say Feliz Navidad and hasta mañana.